Alright, the push-up. It looks easy. It's not. It took me years to get even my first push-up, and I cried in high school because I wasn't able to. So let's talk about how we can go from 0 push-ups to maybe 3 or 5 very consistent clean push-ups. Alright, so basic things about push-ups. It primarily works the pectoral muscles, so the chest muscles, the anterior shoulders, and your tricep muscles. There's also everything being worked along the way because it's used to stabilize your body going down and up. And then we also have other muscles such as the abs to keep our plank, and our glutes to make sure that our hips aren't sagging, and then our low back. Okay, so how are we going to start if we can't do any at all? Well, first we need to make sure that we can support ourselves with our hands. So the first thing is the push-up position plank that's on our wrist. I'm going to show you guys that right now. I'm going to start on the floor, arms about shoulder width apart, fingers pointed straight forward, and then we're going to get up on our toes. So supporting our body weight on our hands and toes, hands directly underneath the shoulders. We want our neck, our back, our legs to be in a line. No raised hips and no sagging hips. So to do that, we want to be breathing the entire time. Make sure the abs are tight. Make sure the glutes, the butt is squeezed. And that's how we get our hips in alignment. So don't hold your breath. Definitely don't hold your breath. Breathe slowly. Make sure everything stays very tight. We don't want to sag our shoulder blades. Make sure it's in a very stable, neutral position. Trying to push the floor away from us. Now when we're ready to move on to the next progression, that means we can do this pretty confidently for about 30 seconds. Not sure how long it's been. It's been a pretty long time. That's the first step. Stabilize your body with your hands and your toes. Make sure you can hold that for about 30 seconds before moving on. Before we get to the next one, which is wall or incline push-ups, I'm going to tell a story about how I used to not be able to do any push-ups at all in middle school or high school. I was a big kid and I couldn't even do knee push-ups. I mean, I don't even know if I had the coordination to do any of those things. I know I saw other kids doing it. I tried. I couldn't. I don't think I passed my PE test that day, and I sort of just cried in the corner by myself because everyone else could do it and I couldn't. So the next thing we're going to do is a wall or an incline push-up. So this is very similar to the plank, except we're going to include the pushing movement, but on a surface where we can support ourselves and feel confident doing it without gravity pushing on the majority of our body weight going down. So let's go find a wall. You can use any wall, a bench, a chair, a bookshelf, your clothing drawer, your nightstand, anything that you feel comfortable leaning into that's not gonna knock over. I'm gonna go find a wall. Okay, I found a nice wall right here in the hallway. You can use a bench if you feel confident enough. We're gonna start our hands, same thing, shoulder width apart, right about chest level on the wall. And then the same cues as in the plank. Keep your abs tight, keep your glutes tight. We want our neck, back, and legs all in the same alignment. Your arms shoulder width, and then we're going to bend our elbows and keep them tucked in and push out. One common mistake is flaring your arms wide. We want our elbows tucked in by our sides, with this angle making about 45 degrees. And to really get all the benefits of this, we're going to do about 3 sets of 5 to 8 reps here. Make sure they're clean and controlled. When you feel comfortable, you can move your hands lower, or after you feel really comfortable with wall push-ups, then we can move to an incline surface such as a bench or a chair. Keep your abs tight, breathe throughout the entire movement. And let's go find a lower surface so we can make ourselves feel better. Okay, once you can do 10 really clean wall push-ups, it's time to move on to the bench. Same thing here, shoulder width apart. Make sure your bench isn't going to move when you're pushing. Same thing here, bend and push. body in alignment. Don't flare out your elbows. Don't sag your hips. Don't raise them up. And another thing I see people do is they look at their feet like this, so that then when they progress to floor push-ups, they don't have to go as far. You want to be looking either straight down at an area between your hands or a little bit forward. So once you can get 10 pretty clean reps on a surface such as this, then you can either find a lower chair or a lower bench, or we can move on to the next one, which is the knee push-up on the floor. Okay, we're back to the floor for knee push-ups. For this, it's exactly as it sounds. We got our knees touching the floor. We got our hands shoulder width apart. I like to cross my knees. You can keep them straight, whatever you please. Make sure they're together, and then keeping your hips and your back in alignment. Not like this, or don't arch your back like so. So we're going to do 10 clean reps here before we can move on to a full push-up. Okay, once you've mastered those, I think you're ready. It's time. It's time to do a full push-up. Let's try one. Arms shoulder width apart, plank position, tight abs, tight glutes, elbows tucked in about 45 degrees, looking ahead of you, and push up. It's okay if the first time you try these, you only get 1 rep. 1 rep is way more than anything I got in high school, so that's pretty awesome. And then once you can do 1, you can keep doing 3 sets of 1, 5 sets of 1, 10 sets of 1. Every minute or every 2 minutes, do a push-up. Wake up, do a push-up. Every time you go to the bathroom, do a push-up. Eventually, your body's gonna build up that strength over time until you can do 3 reps, 5 reps, or even 8 reps. So it's gonna be pretty awesome. Okay, some tips and tricks. Sorry, I'm out of breath. I just did like all those push-ups everywhere, so it's a lot of work. Some tips and tricks. Just when you're starting out, choose the right challenge. It's better to start with something below what you can do than something above. If you start at something below what you can do, you'll feel confident. You'll increase your endurance and strength with the basics, such as the plank will make you feel like, oh, I totally got this, I can totally do it. And that'll strengthen your core muscles that are needed to do this, as well as your chest muscles. So let's talk about some common mistakes that people make. First one would be to place your arms out too wide. Instead of shoulder width, you're doing out beyond shoulder width. So when you do that, it's much harder for your chest to push. Also, your elbows start to go farther out, and that could be hard on your shoulders and your chest. Another mistake is doing a grip that's too narrow. So when you're doing a narrower grip, you're working on a lot more of the tricep than the chest primarily. Since this is a compound movement, we're looking to hit all of the muscles, but the chest is our primary goal here. And then one way that's really good to check your form as you're doing this is to get a mirror that's about 5 foot tall, lay it on its side right next to you, and then as you're doing push-ups, look and make sure, like, oh, my hips are too high, like lower it down, or oh, my elbows are flaring out too much, and tuck them in. So it's a good way to give yourself visual feedback in the moment while you're doing your push-ups and get your mind-muscle connection, and you'll soon be able to feel what that's like instead of having to visually see it. And then the last common mistake is what I said before, is when your forehead when you're looking at your feet. So I'll demonstrate one of those right now. I've seen people do this a lot. When your forehead's down and then you just do this, not going all the way. So it's sort of like cheating the range of motion just a little bit. You just want everything in alignment and in neutral. Find a spot that's either between your hands or a little bit ahead. All right, and that's it for the common mistakes. To really improve your strength over time, it's best to incorporate this into your workout routine every other day. So if you're working out 3 or 4 days a week, let's say you work out Monday, Wednesday, Friday, day, make sure Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, or Sunday, you're not hitting chest as well, because your muscles need time to recover. And if you're doing the same thing every day, you're just tearing it more and more apart, not really letting it rebuild itself or recover and get stronger. So that's one of the things that a lot of people make mistakes with when they're first starting out, is that they think they have to work out the same muscle every single day or else it won't grow. But the main time when muscles grow and get stronger is when you let them rest. They don't get stronger during the workout. That's when you're providing the stimulus that's breaking it apart, and then your body knows, okay, we're gonna build this back up to take that force again. So we're gonna build it to be even stronger than it was last time. Anyways, I hope this was helpful. I've got a home body weight chest workout if you're interested. No equipment needed at all. Link it here, subscribe here. There's a playlist to all of my bodyweight workouts that I've been doing. I've been logging a lot of my training, so I'll see you in the next one.